Welcome to the next episode of the Dark Web Deacon. Before we begin, be sure to smash that subscribe button, click the bell to turn on notifications, and check out the latest items in the Dark Web Deacon merch store. There is a link in the video description below, and become a true Dark Web enthusiast. New videos are published every Monday and Thursday. For this episode, I'm going to talk about who's responsible for your medical debts after you pass on. A friend of mine recently was genuinely concerned about an ill family member and what might happen to the medical debt if the worst happens. This person did have fairly good insurance, but if insurance doesn't cover all medical debt that remains after your death, is your family responsible for it? Well, the short answer is, families' responsibilities to repay medical debt after a death depends on a variety of factors, including state laws and whether your estate can cover the debt. Your medical bills don't go away when you die, but that doesn't mean your survivors have to pay them. Instead, the medical debt, like all remaining debt after you die, is paid by your estate. Estate is just a fancy way to say the total of all the assets you owned at death. When you die, the money in your estate or a judge-appointed administrator will be used to review outstanding debts. Debts must be paid before your heirs receive any money from your estate. If you have more debts than assets, your estate is considered insolvent. In this situation, things can get a bit more complicated. When you have more debt than your estate can cover, the court will prioritize payments to creditors according to federal and state laws. Some creditors make it the full amount they are owed, others make it partial payments or nothing at all. Now the most important part of this video. What are the exceptions where you may be on the hook for a loved one's debts? Number 1, co-signed medical bills. When you seek medical treatment, you're generally required to sign paperwork promising to take responsibility for any bills your insurance doesn't pay. If someone else signed these papers for you, they could be responsible for your medical bills. Number 2, offspring responsibility laws. More than half of states in the United States have laws that hold adult children responsible for financially supporting their parents if the parents can't afford to support themselves. These laws are rarely enforced, however, because Medicaid typically pays for medical care in these cases, but be aware these laws do exist in certain states. What about Medicaid estate recovery? Medicaid won't hold your survivors responsible for the repayments. Any recovery will be made from your estate. If you are survived by a spouse, a child under the age of 21, or a blind or disabled child of any age, Medicaid can pursue the repayments at all. Exception number 3, community property states. The 10 community property states are Arizona, California, Idaho, Louisiana, Nevada, New Mexico, Texas, Washington, Wisconsin, and Alaska. In community property states, spouses are generally held responsible for each other's debts, even if they did not incur the debts themselves. Exception number 4, mortgage or home equity debt. You may have taken out a second mortgage or home equity loan to finance your medical care. If your spouse was on the loan, they will be responsible for paying it off after you die. If you leave the house to an heir, they may inherit the debt along with the house. And finally, once the extent of your debts have been finalized, your surviving family members or the executor of your estate will need to notify creditors of your death. Also, it is smart to have them contact the credit bureaus directly to report your death. The bureaus will ask for a copy of the death certificate. As soon as the credit bureau is aware of your death, your credit report will be flagged to indicate you're deceased. Not that you care at this point all that much, but this step does help stop identity thieves from abusing your credit file after your death, which can be used to steal products and services from others. Thanks for watching, and as always, please like, subscribe, and provide comments, and turn on notifications by clicking the bell in order to check out future videos published twice a week.